Have you ever wondered why there's such a big debate around what it takes to put oversized tires on your truck? Well, it turns out there are quite a few variables that can impact whether they will fit right, and today we're talking about those variables. The whole entire point of this video is what's the easiest way to fit oversized tires without having to do a ton of modifications to your vehicle. Okay, so today we're going to cover the 6 main variables that impact running larger tires. Those are the tires themselves, of course, the wheels, your suspension / lift, upper control arms come into play a tiny bit. We're also going to talk about bumpers, and then we're also going to talk about some of the chopping that people do to their vehicles, like a BMC chop. Those are your 6 main variables. We're also going to have a bonus section that's going to cover some other things that you should just know about. For example, re-gearing, or what are you going to do with your oversized spare, and how do you fit it on your truck. So stick around to the end on that one. That category would have saved me $2,000 if I would have known what I know now. Okay, so variable number 1 is going to be the tires themselves. You're going to find that a lot of them fluctuate within about a ½ an inch. So sometimes when somebody says, hey, I've got 35s and I have the same setup as you and it fits fine, and then you're having a little bit of rubbing, sometimes the difference there is they may have BF Goodrich 35-inch tires that actually measure more, about 34.5 inches, right? You may have another brand tire that actually runs as a true 35. On a Tundra, if you're trying to upsize the 35s, I'm definitely talking about tires that are 12.5 inches wide or smaller. So if you're trying to stay in the safe zone on tires, you're in that like 34.5 to 35-inch range on the oversized tires. 12.5 inches wide, and then if you're going to move up to like 13.5-inch tires and more, you're going to have a lot of rubbing on the inside of your fenders, or you have to start running a big offset and then the tire can't stuff very well. So that kind of brings us to rims. Let's jump to the second variable. The big deal with rims or wheels is the offset. A factory offset on a Tundra is actually plus 60 offset. So plus 60, when you do a plus offset, if this is your axle right here, your wheels are actually being pulled in, okay? A narrower stance. And then as you do negative offsets, you can go from plus 60 back to 0, and then you can start doing negative offsets and going out, okay? So when you see those guys with like almost their whole entire tire sticking outside of their fender and they have those deep dish rims, that's usually about a negative 44 offset is what they're probably running on that to be able to pop them out. Sometimes they're also running a spacer to be able to do that. The farther you pop your tires out, when you try to articulate your rim and that rim goes up to stuff inside your fender, it's supposed to be able to stuff inside of it like this. If it's sticking out, it will just hit that edge. The safe zone when you're trying to run 35s is you can't do a plus 60, because when you get that wider 12.5-inch tire in there and you try to turn it, the outer edges of that tire are going to start rubbing against things sucked up inside your car. So you actually have to push it out a little bit. The safe zone I've found is actually about a 0 offset to a plus 12 is very, very safe for an offset. You're moving the tire out far enough that when it articulates, it can still stuff up in your fender, but not so far out that it catches the edge. There's a lot of popular rims for Tundras out there that are more in like the plus 25 range. You can still get those to work, you just might end up running into a little bit more trimming than other people. For example, on like the TRD skids or a lot of the aftermarket skid plates, they come over to protect a little bit wider zone. And with a plus 25 offset, if you steer it all the way over, you can get a little bit of rub there. So you've got to test it at full turn both ways, and then also full droop and full bump both ways, right? If you have clearance at that point and no rubbing, you're in good shape. There's a guy named Edward Shin who has a Tundra as well. I'll put a link to his video, so if you're running your stock front bumper, he's got a great video. It's running a stock front bumper, 35-inch tires, the BF Goodrich, so they're the 34.5s, right? And then he's got a plus 25 offset. And that plus 25 offset sucked it in just enough to where he had drag on his skid plate, and he has to trim his skid plate or get a different skid plate, right? I actually run a plus 1 offset on my gray Tundra with BF Goodrich KO2s, so the 34.5-inch tires. And with that plus 1, I have no rub on the inside, no rub on the outside, and the tire still fully stuffs up. No problem. So like I said, that safe zone, I actually see the safe zone 0 to 12, plus 12. From 12 to 25, you get into a gray area where you might have a little bit of rub on a little tiny thing here and a little tiny thing there. You can watch Edward Shen's video and you can see how he addressed it and made it work just fine for him. And that pretty much covers wheels and rims. The variables there, the biggest, most important one is offset. Okay, really quick interruption here. We have a forum on Discord. It's an app that you can download for free on your phone. You can click on an invite link and you can come on in. We have it organized by different types of gear that people want to talk about. We also have it organized by different truck platforms. I'm on there several times a week. So if you have questions about a build like this, join our Discord server. There is a link below. All right, variable number 3 is a really obvious one. It's gonna be, I'm calling it suspension/lift. Most of the areas where sizing up to a 35 will rub is on the front of your vehicle where your tires actually turn. The rear end of a Tundra actually has, for the most part, with a tiny bit of lift from your springs, essentially, from your leaf springs, it has enough room for a 35 to fit as long as you're doing the correct offset. If you're upgrading to try to lift your car to actually fit bigger tires, I recommend doing something that is actually upgrading your suspension rather than just sticking a spacer in there. Spacers will work. If you stick a 2.5 inch spacer kit, level out that vehicle, that will create the room for your 35s. You're just not actually upgrading your suspension at all. You're just lifting your vehicle a little bit. The other way to achieve that same lift that you need to clear the tire out and have the room and also upgrade your suspension, of course, is going to be getting a set of coilovers in the front that has where you can set the preload. And a preload will give you a little bit of room to work with. So in this case, if you're in that 2.5 inch to 3 inch total lift going on the vehicle, when you're leveling it out, you're going to be able to fit a 35 fairly easily. I really don't recommend going over 3 because you don't need over 3 inches to fit 35s. I actually have a Tundra with long travel with 37s and it's still only running a 3 inch lift. At that point you have to do a lot of cutting and a lot of other stuff, but when you're over 3, you do have to start doing a lot more mods. You're going to have to get aftermarket upper control arms. You're gonna have to, you may be doing a mid-travel kit at that point. So that's why I always say there's a safe zone up to 3 inches. You can upgrade your suspension with a kit pretty easily. You can fit your bigger tires, and you really don't have to do much beyond that. Okay, let's talk upper control arms. The main point of an upper control arm is to adjust your caster and camber, okay, on your tires, essentially keeping them within range so they aren't pulling left and right, and your steering feels secure and safe. The reason that you would need to upgrade your upper control arms is if when you upgraded your suspension to a 2 to 3 inch total lift, if you went and got extended travel shocks, you need to make sure you understand the difference of what you're buying when you're upgrading your suspension. Like for example, on the gray cement Tundra that has 35s, I'm running the Old Man Emu BP51 kit. I have it adjusted to about a 2.5 inch total lift using the preload and using the Dakar springs in the rear of the truck. And that one does not need aftermarket upper control arms. They are not extended travel shocks. It works just fine. So if you're gonna stay under 3 inches on this vehicle and you're not putting an extended travel shock on it, you are fine to use your factory UCAs. Okay, so we're gonna talk about bumpers. This one's pretty easy. If you stick a high clearance front bumper on off-road bumper on your vehicle, you're gonna have a lot more room for fitting larger tires, obviously, and you'll have less rubbing. But the question is, do you actually have to? And the answer is no. You can fit 35s with your factory bumper. There's just a couple things that you have to do to it. The part that hangs down in the very front of your bumper that's closest to the front of your tire, you can actually loosen some bolts there and you can push it forward, and then you have to re-drill 3 little holes and put those screws back into place. And you can actually get an extra inch of clearance right there without even having to take the full bumper off. There's a lot of people that have posted videos on how to do that. It is super easy. Google it on YouTube. You'll be able to find one that will guide you through that process. So you push that forward. You're actually probably fine at this point with your, if you got a 2 to 2.5 inch lift, you've got your 1+1 offset on your rim, you're actually pretty good. If you have that bigger tire, like a true 35 inch tire, you may still experience the tiniest little bit of rub on the very front of that inside of that bumper where you pushed it forward. And people have had to do a little bit of trimming there It's not very much, and it's not very scary. The majority of the aftermarket bumpers out there clearance that area out for you. Yeah, that basic trimming that you have to do on the front sometimes, and then the little mud flap in the back that you have to remove to get a little extra room there, not a very big deal at all. And that's really all you need to do to be able to fit 35s with your stock bumpers. Okay, so cutting. There's a variable that everyone always talks about. They go, I want 35, so I'm gonna go get my BMC, go get my body mount chop. You can see in the video right here, this is what a body mount looks like, and this is what they look like when they're chopped. On my gray Tundra, I do not have a BMC, and I'm running 35s. Never had it rubbed there ever, actually. And then on the white truck, I'm running 37s, and obviously to fit those, I had to do a body mount chop on that. So the thing about this is a lot of people that want 35s, this is like the first thing they do. They go and spend the money, or they do it themselves, and they get a body mount chop. Don't do that, because I think this is actually one of the last things that actually are necessary. As long as you're staying in with range on all those other things, your tire has more clearance actually in the back than it does in the front. So this is the least needed cutting and chopping you need to do if all your goal is just to fit 35s. Now, if you start going wider, instead of a 12.5-inch tire, you're going 13.5 or bigger, you're gonna have to cut that, because when you turn, that edge of that tire sticks out farther and it will catch there. If you're trying to go bigger than 35s, you're gonna have to chop it, right? If you're offset, you're trying to push your tire really far out, so you start getting into those negative offsets where you're like -12 and all the way out to -44, obviously. You're gonna be rubbing like crazy there. So don't waste money, at least, on cutting your BMC until you've plotted out your whole build. And if your build is all within range, you really don't need to do this to fit 35s. So this bonus section is a little bit of a catch-all, but this is some really important stuff actually. Number one, a spare 35-inch tire will actually fit underneath your vehicle. So you don't have to go buy like I have the Expedition 1 bumper that I can bolt a spare onto. I love that because you can put a lot of other gear on it. It's an awesome bumper, but it's also incredibly expensive. So instead of having to go buy a bumper like that to fit your 35 or to put your 35-inch spare in the back of your truck, it turns out underneath your vehicle, there's a piece of metal bracket that sticks out to kind of hold the smaller tire from jiggling around a little bit. You can just trim the edges off of each of those, and then you can fit a 35-inch tire underneath there. I highly recommend doing that because that keeps the weight of that 35 nice and low to the ground. It keeps it out of the way, out of the back of your bed. You know, you have these rigged tailgates. I did a review on the Expedition 1 versus the rigged solution where it's the swing out where you can put your 35 on there. You know, that's a really great solution, especially if you need like a spare 37, say, that really won't fit underneath your vehicle, right? But the rigged sticks out past the end of your bumper, so it changes your exit angle. It will drag a lot if you're off-roading, say, in more extreme up and down situations like in Moab, for example. So the fact that you can just stuff that 35 underneath your vehicle only by trimming, that's amazing. The other question that's going to come up a lot with tires is your gear ratios. The stock gears on a Tundra is a 410, and then if you've got the tow package, it's going to be 430s. These are fine for driving 35s, but if you did change your gears to 488s or 529s, if you're going to go even bigger than 35s, yes, you can get better gas mileage. You will get a little bit better power for towing. What you're really going to notice is at the high speeds on the freeway, when you're going 70 miles per hour, what are you at? You want to be going around 2,000 RPMs on the motor when you're at 70 miles per hour. When you re-gear, you get a lot of that top-end value for MPGs on long trips. You get some of that back, okay? The stock gears work fine. It's not underpowered. You're not going to do damage to it. It works great. It's just, yes, you can get a performance upgrade by changing your gears, but you definitely don't have to. The other thing to realize is, yes, if you upgrade to 35s, your speedometer will be off. I don't think it's a big deal. The math isn't that hard. So that kind of covers the bonus items. I hope that this makes you feel a lot more equipped to figure out your own kit to get to 35s. It's not about just the 2-inch lift or 3-inch lift, or just having the right offset, or just this or just that, or I have to get a BMC. It's about stringing all 6 of these variables together into a package that's within range of fitting easily and not having to do drastic mods to your vehicle. It's not hard to do. It's easy to piece together these kits. Fuel has a +1 offset rim, no big deal. Go get a set of BFG KO2s at 34.5 inches. Go to a 2.5 inch leveling lift on your vehicle. Push out, get your extra inch on your bumper. There you go. You just fit 35s without having to do any massive modifications to your vehicle. I hope that was helpful. Thanks for tuning in. We got more videos coming in the near future. Appreciate you guys.